Yo, what's up? I'm QuHarrison and we're live at Project Voice. We have a few people with us. We've got Paul Hickey, the CEO of Data Driven Design, and then a person that we have to unearth. This person has been around the world, done quite a few things, now has a very special gig, but his introduction has to be unearthed in this interview, right?
100%.
So we know the first name.
We have to decode it.
Oh, we have to decode it.
There it is. I've been waiting all my life for this joke. They're the first guys that ever use it. My name is David Code, DCode for short. Oh, you love that joke.
Okay.
Fabulous.
All right. So
What can we say?
And David Code works at LinkedIn.
Yep.
You know, I've got a special affinity for LinkedIn. It's one of my favorite platforms. I'm not just telling you that. That really is true.
And I'm thrilled about it.
You're thrilled about it. Of course you are. You're getting paid from it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Means the world to me, Q.
But a guy from LinkedIn comes to Project Voice, is intermingled with Paul, looking at how voice apps are structured, going in the trenches and all the sessions and like just getting all this keynote knowledge, but you don't actually make voice like apps.
Well, not yet. I'm actually
not yet.
yeah. Don't tell anybody, but I'm actually interviewing at Apple, so I may end up on the conversational design side.
Oh, wow.
But first
So
and foremost,
we got to cut that from the interview, right?
I don't know. I don't care.
Okay, all right, just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Off the record.
Inside
Yeah.
scoop.
Inside the scoop.
There you go. You heard it here first.
All right. Apple, sign this man.
No, I ended up here, circuitous route.
Yeah.
My first love is AI.
Okay.
I spent 2 years learning AI online, and what I discovered is all those experts online trying to teach AI, they are experts, they're not teachers. And
Yes,
man, there's a
yes,
big
yes.
difference. These experts are so expert that they've forgotten what it's like for the learners to learn. You know what I mean? So once I went through my 2 years of suffering torture, I was like, okay, never again. I don't want anybody to go through what I went through. So I'm going to teach AI to people with a non-STEM background. Is STEM a universal term?
Yeah,
like
science, technology,
Thank
engineering,
you.
and mathematics.
I
Let's
appreciate
go.
that. Thank you.
You know, I know about that.
Nice.
I'm not an AI expert.
I know, but you're a rock star, and that's all that matters.
All right, thank you. You all heard it here first.
So anyway, I wrote a 140-page textbook teaching AI with like simple, humorous approaches, and I posted it on Reddit. LinkedIn saw it there, and they recruited me to come write for them. They said, hey, teach our people that. So that's how I ended up at LinkedIn. Now, how I ended up at Project Voice, they invited me to come do my little reportage on what's happening here. And it's fascinating to me because I do think this, I hate to say it. In fact, I can't say it's the future. Okay, it's the future. Fine, I said it. That's just as bad as the DCode joke. But I am fascinated by what I've seen here. I've learned so much about how we as human beings interact and communicate with each other from watching us trying to ape that process when we're designing VUI,
Okay.
voice user interface.
Yeah.
Yeah. Elaborate on that though. Like, what are some examples of that?
The one
I think
that
it's interesting.
Yeah, the one that hit me over the head, I was interviewing a conversational designer, and he was mentioning the different ways that you can phrase what the bot says, what the VUI says, in order to elicit a different response from the user.
Okay.
And that immediately made me realize that I do the same thing. I train the people that I'm talking with every day. I'll give you an example. So if I've got a friend coming over, I'd like to know ideally at exactly what minute they're going to arrive. Can they tell me what the Google Maps arrival time is, the ETA, so that I know when to arrive? Do I have time to do an errand before they arrive? So I'll ask, what's your ETA?
Sure.
Now, I'm training them. I want that precise answer, but they may just say, oh, I'll be there in about 15 minutes, or I'll be there as soon as I can. And it's not like I press them. It's not like I'm upset, but I am trying to train them. I am trying to get that specific response.
specific
the same,
answer.
yeah, the same thing we do when we're designing VUI.
Okay. I love that. That's interesting. So, what are you here for to present on? Talk to us about that. You got a presentation coming up, and and who's the best kind of audience for that type of presentation? Because there's a bunch of different audiences here at Project Voice. You've got some developers. You've got some. I met some sales and marketing people here today, which I think is great. There's educators. So, talk to us about your upcoming presentation and who the best audience is for that.
Well, I like to think that I have something to say to all of them. It's a bit of a humbling position to be seen as a thought leader that's supposed to do a presentation on the future of the industry. But I'm an opinionated guy, so of course I've got opinions and stuff that I want to instill on these folks. And one thing that I really enjoyed, what?
I need that opinion. You can't just walk away from the opinion.
Oh, don't you? Are you kidding? That's exactly where I'm going.
Okay,
too.
good.
Are
All
you
right,
kidding?
just making sure because it seems like you were walking.
Are you in a hurry?
It
I'm
did
paid by the
seem-
hour.
It did
It
seem like he
like-
was trying to skirt the
Yeah, it was
question.
like he tried to like
He
walk
was
away.
like,
Like,
yeah.
so if you're here and
I'm
you're
on
the
the hot
thought, you're
seat
the
here.
guy,
Uh-huh.
give us a little something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I'll give you more than a little something.
Okay, all right.
The number one thing I love to do is to question the paradigm. And when I say paradigm, we have all these people who are super psyched to be here, and they're, oh, look at this cool thing I designed, and what an innovation, this is incredible. And the thing I want to like tattoo in everybody's mind is, the consumer says, so what?
Right.
Now, what I mean by that is the consumer doesn't care about skills and actions and design. All they want is something that just works. You know that phrase?
Absolutely.
It just works.
Just works.
And I think that that's something that folks like us are very tempted to forget as we
Right.
get caught up in the kind of bubble we're living here with the froth of the new innovations in technology.
Right.
So that's one thing I want to remind everybody of is if the consumer is not first, and they don't care about all the stuff that we care about. We care about all this super high-tech stuff.
Right,
They
right,
couldn't
right.
care less.
That makes sense. I
Yeah.
mean, but like you kind of need someone that does care about the high tech stuff to get to the high tech stuff, right?
Absolutely.
And,
Yeah.
and how do you, when you question the paradigm, how do you account for that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you can be a great designer and still have that kind of D-school thinking, that design thinking about empathy for the consumer. And I tell you, the rock star that I have met at this conference is Emily Lonetto for VoiceFlow.
Okay.
Now, VoiceFlow is a platform that helps even non-coders to design skills and actions
Right.
that work fabulously. And she's trying to do what I was trying to do for AI. Like when AI started out, you had to do all of your programming, all your coding line by line. It was a nightmare. Then we started to use what we call frameworks and libraries, which streamlined the process and made it simpler. And that's why I love Emily Lonetto's platform of VoiceFlow, because I think she's doing that. She's making it accessible to anybody to go in. She's like bringing democracy to the process. You don't have to be this like super specialist, geeky coder anymore. You can use that program, type in the things that you want to elicit from your user, figure out how to deal with feedback, how to act on the intention that's described by the user. And I think that VoiceFlow is going to mushroom. You know, they're young and they're hungry, they've just started now. But what I love is it makes it accessible for everybody, not just the coders, but even folks like you and me can now do it.
I would agree with that. Now, you're in this interesting position because you just get to observe in many regards, right?
Yeah.
What you said you were getting into voice. What innovations, what side of voice would you, what's attracting you right now, like within the voice paradigm? Like, are you interested in X or Y or Z, or do you want all three? Like, where are you at?
You're a genius. I'm so grateful for that question because I have a very specific answer.
Okay.
My wife,
Yes.
super smart, got a bunch of degrees, Yale, Duke, blah, blah, blah.
Don't tell me I'm at another one. You're married to Alexa too?
Oh yeah, it's incredible. What a small world. Man, who knew? So you're the other guy.
No, I'm not.
No,
Oh, okay.
no,
Yeah,
no.
you know who it is, right?
Alexa?
No,
It's Bradley Metrock.
You're killing me. I have no idea about this.
you don't.
Yeah, he's
No.
married to
Yeah, so
Alexa.
you all are
You
married to
didn't
the
know that?
same lady.
Now I get it.
Or-
I finally decoded it. Wow, this is incredible. I'm catching up.
Yeah, that's why she's a little bit slower when you're in different places. You know, if you're in the
Okay.
bathroom, she's instant. But then when you're in the bedroom,
Okay.
she's like,
Man.
She's with Bradley, and then she's with David.
Yeah,
Or
she's-
with.
That's what I love about these interviews is I learn so much. Thank you for this.
I mean, it's all good.
Q, you're a giver.
So tell us about your experience with your wife and where she's.
Okay, I'll tell you what some of my experiences with my wife. Hold on now.
Alexa.
No. We're gonna set aside Alexa. Set that aside now.
Oh, that's a side piece.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's for like the next interview. If you guys up my salary, because frankly, right now I'm doing this for peanuts, and I'm looking for the big dollars.
So the side piece is Alexa.
Oh my God.
You're like
So he just
he's got
spoke to
levels
LinkedIn
it.
and said, "Up my salary," and then he's he's interviewing with Apple, and he's married to Alexa.
I'm a complicated person.
I can't comprehend this.
I'm
This
trying to
dude really
keep
did
up. I'm
study
trying to keep
AI.
up.
Like, well, you just were like crunching the numbers on everything.
And
Oh,
what is he presenting on
Yeah, so,
again?
like,
I don't
what-
even know.
I don't,
what
like,
is he didn't even really answer the question
like,
of what he's
dude, like-
presenting on.
Come on, man.
I feel like I'm on Letterman. These guys are on my case.
Yeah, I mean-
I hope you'll have a little more empathy for me than they are, man.
No, we have empathy for you. It's intriguing.
We love you, man.
So Alexa, let's go back to the premise.
Okay.
So you were talking to Alexa.
I was not talking to Alexa.
Your wife is not Alexa.
No, she's not. Her name is Karen. Karen Alexa.
Wait, you
Alexa
named the Alexa device?
Oh, you're killing me.
Dude, that's kind of baller. Do you name your Echo?
No, but I will now. I think I'm going to.
Yeah, so I'm setting a trend.
I think
So
I'm
you
gonna call
named
it.
your
I think I'm gonna
device
call it David.
Fabulous.
David Code?
David Code.
David Code?
I'm
DC?
going to do my best to get back on track here because I'm
Okay,
starting to
okay.
worry about these guys. So my wife, okay? Take my wife, please.
Alexa.
So my wife, her name is Karen, and super smart, but she hates search. She hates to go on search, and the 3 questions that torture her when she's doing it is, am I doing this right? How do I know when I'm done? And the search results, have they been gamed by SEO, or is
Okay.
Google taking payments in order to goose certain, search results? And so I'm thinking, okay, what's a solution for that could be useful? And I realized I'm in the process of designing my first Google Assistant action.
Awesome.
And what I mean by that is, so she's suffering with search.
Yes.
She wants to search, I don't know, how to buy a used car.
Okay.
So she
What
types
type
in.
of used car?
Well, that's the thing. We got to get to that.
Okay, all right.
So, but let's go with a BMW, just because I got to ride in the damn thing. So let's at least make it comfortable, right? So she types in, how to buy a used car, and the action I want to create gives her 10 other options. It's like, okay, she's wondering if she has the right search term. And this fabulous action is going to give her 10 options like, well, please touch on these other ones that you think might be relevant. So we need a screen. I admit we need a screen.
Okay.
But that way it refines her search, it energizes her search, hopefully gives her better results, better information.
Yeah.
And that is the kind of thing I'd love to have too.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people, it's not about intelligence. A lot of people are not comfortable with search. Like, we maybe search rock stars because we work in this domain, but a lot of people are uncomfortable with it. And if there's any way that we can coach them and help them, they're going to dig that, I think.
Search stars.
There you go. Nice.
Search stars.
Nice.
I like that.
You just named it. Okay, so you've named my wife now, and you've also named my Google Action. We should go into business together, man. Co-found.
We've got to talk to Paul about that.
Oh, yeah.
How could you leave my man Paul out?
He can't afford us. He can't afford us, man.
I mean, I'm
Paul,
gonna
you don't know
challenge
who
your
Paul
idea
is.
on the Google. You might not want to go into business with me because I might challenge that idea on that
Okay.
Google Action and say,
I'm listening. Bring
say,
it.
how do we get users to use that when there's the search that is already there? So just because your wife, whatever her name is,
Alexa.
Karen,
We don't even
Alexa,
know. I've
I don't know
forgotten
what her name is.
myself.
His wife might be an echo.
So you might just be so actually here, let me back up. So are you building this for the masses, or are you building this for a utility? Because that's a legitimate point.
Sure.
Some skills and actions are built using blueprints or templates,
Yeah.
and they're for the family or the person that you're in love with or your spouse. And so is this something that you're going to build just kind of for your home usage? With
That's an
Karen,
excellent
or,
question.
Or is this something that you would want to build out and put in front of the masses?
Paul, that is the perfect question. Because I'll tell you, starting out, I just wanted to find a solution for my wife.
Okay.
And then I read this, I guess it was in Kathy Pearl's book.
Okay.
And she was talking about how sometimes when you design for that one person or that one situation, that it in fact expands and generalizes to the populace. And the example that I'm pretty sure it was her book used was the guy who designed rolling luggage. It was a pilot, a former pilot who did that, and he did it just for his friends and flight attendants in the industry. And then as soon as people saw them rolling through the airport with that luggage, they're like, I want some too. And that's how it mushroomed. So I'm thinking, man, if we can do the David Code Google action that helps people search, and my wife loves it, well, already, I've fulfilled my goal in life. But then after that, Paul's going to want to buy it, and Q's going to want to buy it, and no doubt Kathy Pearl will want at least 10. So
No doubt.
I've got a market.
I think that's the right way to look at it. I really do. I think that's smart.
I mean, Peter Thiel talks about that all the time, and building things that don't scale initially to find your demographic and find the people that love the product, and then you find 100 of those, and then 1,000, and then 10,000, and just keep going until you got a What type of a mushroom company?
There you go, mushroom
Mushroom.
company.
A mushroom
Yeah,
company.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that. It's better than exponential.
Oh yeah,
So,
okay.
Does going through the process of creating an action like that, do you feel like that helps you, cover the industry better? Like, is there some
absolutely.
collateral benefit there? So talk
Absolutely.
about that a little bit for our viewers.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think there's a huge difference between a conversational designer who's never designed a conversation and the conversational designer who's designed one conversation. Because your learning curve is straight up like that, but after you've done just that one conversation and stumbled through the same mistakes that everybody makes, like the stilted conversation that sounds like somebody reading an essay they wrote, everybody does that the first time around, you know?
That's true.
So once you can get through some of those obstacles, you're like, I don't know, 80% on your way towards being an expert once you've got that first conversation designed.
That makes sense. Do you use Alexa to write?
No, I don't. I use Google Assistant. Now, here's a real
you do?
confession. Yep, true confession. I don't really dig voice assistants. Like the home ones, like Echo and Google Home. I know. Google gave me one for free, and I was like, I'm not that interested.
Do you know where you are?
No, I don't.
Do you even code?
I have no idea.
Are you a coder?
No, I
know
just
what
keep
he's
the last
presenting
name.
on.
We don't know what
Just
he's
keep the-
presenting on
We don't know what he's
tomorrow.
presenting on. We
He's
don't-
married to a
He's
device.
confused on his wife's
Actually,
name.
I know why he doesn't like the Home Assistant, because like he's cheating on his wife. Like if he's like in the Google.
That's why he didn't want the
Nest.
Google one. He's
Yeah.
married to
And
Alexa.
then the Echo, like he named it. What was her name again? Karen?
You guys understand me so well. This is just
We're
beautiful.
decoding it,
I'm,
right?
I'm
Like-
brushing back the tears. You
No,
know?
we're
You
decoding
just got me
because it's
nailed.
like
He's never gonna
you don't
talk
come
to
to
us again.
you don't come to a voice conference
Ah.
and talk about
Yeah.
I'm not really into the voice.
So are you a contrarian? You can't be a contrarian because you're building a
Let's see.
Google action.
Now you see already my palms are starting to sweat. Like, what do I don't even know like what I'm supposed.
He
Oh
just,
my god.
He just licked
Oh,
my
now
Google
I understand.
Home Mini. He just licked.
Have I got it? Did I get it? Is this it?
Oh, is that how you? That's how you talk to your wife? He's like,
Well,
hey,
no, I just thought, these
Is
things.
this
I mean-
it? This is the David way. Hey, Alexa.
No, I figured it's one for each pocket. You know what I mean? That's what I
Whisper
thought.
mode.
Yeah.
He's in whisper mode and he wants it to whisper back.
Whisper mode. I love it. You should build that for him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It'll scale. I'll use whisper mode.
Absolutely. I can't wait. That's going to be my second project.
Alexa,
after
decode whisper mode.
After the augmented search action. That's the next thing I'll do.
Augmented search.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So.
Wait, no, do I get
You
to
don't-
answer his question?
Yes,
He asked me a great
no, we're
question.
asking you the question. Go
I am a
back.
questioner of paradigms. So I don't mean to be a contrarian.
Okay.
But I do walk into a space and I look at what these people believe and I'm like, okay, do I agree with that? Do I agree with that? And so here's one that's radical. And I mean, you guys are already not big fans of me, but you can hate me after I say
All
this.
right, Kanye.
I want to say, oh my God, that's stuck right here. I've got like a sucking chest wound now
You
after
said
that
we
one.
were gonna hate you afterwards.
Okay, well, yeah. But it's not afterwards yet. We're still in the process.
All right.
No. So I want to say that I think the smartphone rules, and it will always rule.
Okay.
What we're calling the home assistants
Yes.
are going to go extinct like dinosaurs. Because, again, from the consumer's point of view, all they want is seamless. They want something that just works from their smartphone to their home to their car. They don't want a special integral system for each environment. They want to take their phone everywhere, use it, it's seamless, it remembers everything it's supposed to remember. So in my opinion, once these little smartphones have the same tech as the home assistants, that miking capability from across the way and what have you, I think those cute little things that you just tried to put in on both my ears are going to die like dinosaurs.
Well, I mean, the smartphone does have the tech. It's just the battery constraint, right? So
yeah.
if you say, "Hey Google," and I put your phone in that chair over there,
Uh-huh.
it would still pick you up, right?
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it's not plugged into the wall, so it doesn't have an endless power source.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's like in many regards, Google Assistant started on the Android device.
Yeah,
And that's what I love about it.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
love. It's already like halfway towards what I'm describing.
And I think in many regards, the devices that you mentioned are already kind of outdated. I mean, I don't know that like the companies that are building them really care about the devices so much as they care about the assistant and the AI behind
Yeah,
the assistant.
absolutely.
So I think that things that just work, as long as the assistant works and it can be
Yes.
integrated in different things, or not integrated is the wrong word, it just lives within
Yeah,
different
that's right.
things,
Yeah.
then it'll the whole Alexa or Hey Google concept being on the assistant with an action or a skill or whatever will always be relevant, even if no one ever has an Echo Dot ever again.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. This blew me away. I was talking with someone who works in voice in vehicles, in cars.
Yeah.
And I said, personally, I want to take my phone into the car, set it on the little, phone holder, and maybe, pair it with Bluetooth or even plug in a cord. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I want that to run my experience in the car as well. And he says, there are so many people like you, they're just not used to the idea yet. They've got to learn new technologies. And I'm thinking, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. You are not hearing the consumer asking, so what? Because the consumer doesn't want to learn a new integrated voice system in the automobile, and then what if you change automobiles and change brands? And I mean, some of the past automobile voice systems did not work well.
So I love where you're going, because you've described kind of, I like your phone theory, I like your dinosaur theory, I like your car theory, but like you're a writer and you said you used assistant to write. I do want to unearth that, because you're not going to change your assistant to write if you have a working pattern or workflow that you use, right? Like, I mean, it's easy to change a word processor, but like when you change assistants, the actual intents and context and how they understand and even get you data changes entirely. Like Siri gets me data entirely different way than Alexa, which gets me a different way than I get from Google Assistant.
Yeah.
And you have specific use cases for all three,
Yeah.
but if I could only have one while I'm doing an activity, I might be severely limited.
Yeah. No, I get that. And I may have a blind spot there. I don't really know Alexa very well. I'm a Google guy. I'm all about Google Assistant. That's where I live.
Why are you in denial? You just said you were married to Alexa.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh damn, I forgot. She's more of a mistress, maybe. You
did say she was the side piece too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, no, I'd say that's accurate, Q. I'm good with that.
All right.
You heard it here.
I don't even know
true
where to go
confessions
from here.
DCode. I think we decoded.
I think
we
we've decoded
everything?
Like we've decoded why he.
Do we know what he's presenting on yet, though? I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead, talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, things that stood out for me. Here's one innovation that I think is just incredible that I discovered this week, and I'd never once thought about it, and that is loneliness. Now, you guys probably know that in the UK, the English government now has a minister for loneliness because they recognize what a big social issue it is and how it's affecting our society. And
Was that a lonely person that's like a master expert in loneliness because they've been lonely for so long?
I guess so, yeah. How do
Like-
they decide
like-
who's going to be the minister for loneliness? I
I'm just
never
thinking
once thought
about
of that.
future like career opportunities,
Yeah.
and it's like, do you just become a lonely
Yeah.
guy? And
So
then
the
say,
minister
If
for
you can
loneliness has
leverage
to
your
be.
loneliness,
Hell yeah!
why
like,
not, right?
I'm the
There's
most
big
lonely.
money. There's
Leverage your
big
lo-
money in
Then
isolation.
you can create a masterclass to leverage your loneliness.
Hell yeah! Like that was the most. That would interest me. Continue.
No, but
forward,
imagine
yeah.
this: the minister for loneliness suddenly gets married, and they're fired. They've got to leave
They're
their
not
jobs.
lonely
Don't-
anymore.
That's right. Don't you think?
Yeah, I agree.
They can't speak for the people anymore.
Yeah.
This is very deep.
We have not let you finish one thought. on
Well,
this
no,
entire
I'm
interview.
starting to get used to it now.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're doing
yeah.
great.
Even I can't
Because
remember
of
my
that
thoughts
fact.
at
Yeah, you
this
can.
point.
So you were intrigued by the loneliness.
Minister
and
for
then, like,
loneliness. Yes. Yeah.
We'll bring you
So-
back.
okay, thank you. You guys got me. You're there for me.
Yeah.
You're my wingman.
Of course.
Okay,
You
I
see, you got one
understand.
on each side.
Yeah, yeah.
He'll ask you the smart stuff. I'll ask
Yeah.
you the
Good. I like people who can protect me. That's
Yeah.
important to
You
me.
got you.
The camera doesn't offer you any protection.
A camera doesn't lie.
Yeah.
So anyway, this idea of loneliness and isolation, and I was listening this morning to a guy who was talking specifically about medical use for Alexa and for voice assistants. And one thing I realized was not only can they help kind of, folks who are chronically ill, like quadriplegics or people who just can't get around the house, and they need Alexa just to know what the weather is outside or play some light FM music for me. But also, we use the word friendship. I mean, I think everybody realizes you can't really be friends with your assistant, but I think the word they're looking for is companionship. Because,
Okay.
the assistant can keep you company, The assistant can be fun, stimulating, you've got a back and forth. It's no substitute, but for somebody who's already limited physically, or maybe they don't have great social skills and they're just plain isolated because they have trouble making friends, the assistant can fill a role. The assistant can make a difference in that person's life. And to me, I think that's super cool, that technology can provide such a compassionate, kind of empathic answer for folks out there.
I like that a lot. And I mean, I can't wait to see your presentation because I'm sure it's going to evolve from that. But this is going to be the segue where we tell people, if you're at Project Voice, you should definitely check out David's session tomorrow. DCode, if you don't know, from LinkedIn. And on that note, I mean, Paul, any last questions?
I mean, we'll definitely try to get some footage of DCode's presentation as well.
For sure. For certain.
And then Q and I will analyze it afterwards and see how we did.
We'll be code breakers.
Yep.
Oh man, I'm nervous, but I'll do my best.
Hey man, I do need your book, by the way. Yeah, so send me that or
Okay.
let me buy it.
You got
Wherever I
it.
can get it. I need access to that because if he got hired off LinkedIn, there had to be some good books.
Well, and, I mean, LinkedIn recruited him off of the book. So
Yeah, like
I
that book-
agree. I mean,
that
we
book's
need to
probably
see the
fire.
book.
Yeah, that book, like, dude, you got to protect that book.
Oh, that's
that book
right.
is masterpiece.
I never thought of that. I was just so angry when I wrote it. I just went through such hell for 2 years. I was like, okay, I got to help the other people so they don't have to endure what I endured. I never thought about, like, this
So-
could make me a billionaire.
Angry David Code.
Wait, did he become a billionaire? You hear it? He just dropped that. He might
Yeah,
be
he
a
did.
billionaire.
Might. Did you have any doubt? Look at all my bling, man. Isn't it obvious? Wait, I do have some bling. Look at that. See? I got bling. Oh, hey. Yeah, you're impressed. I can tell.
I'm in the presence of another billionaire. I rocks with that.
Hey,
So-
we got to stick together.
Another day, another time for an analysis of what that watch does.
Alrighty, we'll catch you in the future. I'm signing out. Take care.
Thanks you.
Thanks for watching.
It's a privilege.